Isamu Noguchi was a Japanese-American artist who lived from 1904 through 1988. He was born in Los Angeles, California, moved to Japan through adolescence, and then later returned where he passed in New York City, New York. Noguchi was not always an artist. He attended Columbia University to study medicine and took sculpture classes as a hobby. After realizing his true calling, he got himself a studio and became familiar with the art of sculpting. He then met his first teacher, Gutson Burlam, being best known for the man who sculpted the faces on Mount Rushmore. This man believed that Noguchi had no future in sculpting and that he should just quit while he was young. Noguchi enrolled in the Leonardo da Vinci Art School and was nicknamed the New Michelangelo due to his fantastic efforts. Later, the new Michelangelo opened his own studio so he could sculpt uninterrupted and full-time. Noguchi then went to Paris on a fellowship, where he met his inspiration, Constantine Brancusi. After returning from Paris, Noguchi was not respected as an abstract sculptor yet. He began to sculpt portraits, and those are what commissioned his rent, food, and basically means for survival. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, Noguchi realized that he was not only American, but a Japanese American, which gave him a big spark in political ambition. He then realized, after Pearl Harbor, that his true inspiration was social issues, and that's what started to drive his artwork. One of the artworks was 14 Americans, and it wasn't until around 1938 when Noguchi's work was widely recognized. But back in 1926, Noguchi saw an exhibition in New York of the work of Constantine Brancusi that greatly influenced his artistic direction. Everything became simplistic and plain, and only paid attention to what the artwork was made out of and not the artwork itself. This is the black sun, which he thought covered the earth through these hard times. Throughout his career, Brancusi served as a major inspiration. Everything turned into simplicity and just purity. Everything has some type of light or darkness facing into it, such as the red cube. It looks like as if there's light shining all around it, but in the middle there's still a pit of darkness, which could be taken as anything, but no one will officially know unless you ask, or asked Isamu Noguchi. He created pieces that had very different meanings, and you never know what they can mean, such as death. Clearly it's someone who was hanged by a rope and was shackled, but who was it? What does it mean? Was it saying that we're imprisoned by our society in the times that we're in? Was it simply something that he observed? Everything was straight to the point, but still to where you could think about it. In general, most of Noguchi's work did reflect his views, but he also made pieces that had to do with lights and nothing to do with views. So, for example, there's furniture that's kind of referred to as the Noguchi work, and lamps and couches, and they're just simplistic and sleek and modern. So you see the lights, there's nothing really to them but the light fixture itself and maybe some white fabric covering it. As I said before, each piece seemed to draw appreciation towards the objects for them, not what did he use to make it. Which, I said that wrong. Each piece showed appreciation to the artwork and appreciation of how he made it, but not really the picture of the artwork. Many of his sculptures are all over the world, and many of them, the placement is very interesting. I feel like each placement has to do with what it had to depict. So, for example, the black sun, that's probably somewhere where it faced the hardest times during the war. The red cube is probably in somewhere like New York, where it can be so shiny on the outside and the light keeps flowing in, but it's so dark on the inside because of the poverty that it faces every day. Brancusi really influenced Noguchi because you can tell how simplistic everything is. Even his first artworks, you can tell it's a little bit simplified, but everything after 1926 is completely sleek and modern. With that realization, Noguchi's work is everywhere. Like I said, in the furniture and the lamps and everything. That's things that everyone puts in their house for the modern, the things that celebrities think is sleek and pure. And everything is just non-representational, but it's always symbolic. It always means something greater than what it actually comes to the eye, and you have to sit there as an artist and think about it. One question it would be, though, is how would you keep it so simple whenever you have such a deep meaning behind? Are some things simply as plain as they see, or is it a deeper meaning that he would like us to look into?